Hi, welcome to another edition of Unity Through Community. I'm Mary O'Brien, Director of Community Education for the Hastings Public Schools. And happy to be here with you today. On this particular day, I always kind of give the weather report. I think I'm Sven's sun guard, you know. But today it's beautiful. We're actually experiencing what is kind of the elusive Minnesota spring. So let's hope that the weather keeps going. All the teams are able to play outside. Everything's drying up. This weekend I went out and looked around my garden. Not too much is coming up yet, but I warmly encourage things as it gets warmer. Come on, come up. So we're pretty excited about the good weather. And spring brings so much activity at community education. So today I'm starting with things that you don't know that community ed does, and I talk a lot about our collaborations. We have two in particular I want to mention that are coming up that are activity-based. So the first is the Daddy-Daughter Dance. This is on April 25th. It's at the middle school from 5 to 7:30. We have two options this year, a meal option or a non-meal option. So for $45 you get a ticket for you, dad, and one daughter. It's $5 for each additional daughter. We have a wonderful catered meal from the Green Mill, and the theme is 50 sock hop this year. So we have sock hop type foods, we have shakes, we have burgers, we have French fries, we have onion rings, we have hot dogs, we have mini corn dogs, so just all sorts of fun things. For $35 you get a ticket to the dance without a meal, and that's for a dad and a daughter. You can buy at the door, buy your ticket at the door, but we really want to encourage people, because just like if you were going to a wedding and there's a meal option, people want to know how many people are coming. So if you could do that in advance at www.hastingscommunityed.com, or you can call us at 651-480-7670. And this is a collaborative effort, so people wonder, who does the Daddy-Daughter Dance? And it's the United Way of, the Hastings YMCA is our main collaborator on this event, and they provide staff and activities. And then we also work with our Promise Fellows, and you've met one of our Promise Fellows. Sarah Lawrence was previously here to visit with us. And they get a whole bunch of different kids from the community to be involved and be volunteering that evening. So we have kids from the National Honor Society, we have kids from Youth First Planning Council, we do have kids from their United Way Junior Board. It's just a great event that many people come around to make a fun evening for everybody. So dancing, we have a live DJ, we have all sorts of activities, the bounce house, that's coming up on Saturday, April 25th. And then we also collaborate with the American Red Cross. And you might say, what does Hastings Community Ed do with the American Red Cross? Okay, we do a blood drive. We actually do 2 blood drives a year. In the fall, we have one right around Halloween, so that's been come to be known as our Vivant Your Blood drive. This one is coming up on Tuesday, April 28th. I think it's the 28th. Yeah, but it's the last week in April. It's on Tuesday from noon to 6 at Tilden Community Center. If you've given before in this blood drive, you'll get a phone call. If you've never given blood, it's really a very easy thing to do. The people who take your blood are extremely adept at doing it. It takes maybe a half an hour altogether with some check-in time at the beginning, about a half hour to give blood, and then some time at the end where you get to sit and you get free cookies. So it's something that we can do for our community. Hastings is known as a community where a lot of people donate blood. So please put that on your calendar. Tuesday the 28th at Tilden Community Center, noon to 6. If you'd like to call and make an appointment, which the American Red Cross suggests that you do, 651-480-7689. It's different from our main number because our wonderful senior center receptionists do all the taking of appointments for that. So that's coming up on the 28th. And then we have a really amazing event. This is our third year. It's been so successful and so much fun. Our Tilden Preschool Little Learner Scholarship Fundraiser. And I have as my guests today my two friends, Angie McGinnis, who is our Early Childhood Programs Coordinator, and Carrie Castle, who is the chair of our Early Learning Advisory Council, also a member of our Community Ed Advisory Council. So ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so, tell me a little bit about what's going to happen at this fundraiser.
Well, what's going to happen, I'm going to let Carrie cover that actually, because that's kind of more her department. But what I can say right now is that it's at the Onion Grill on April 30th from 4 to 6.
And that's a Thursday?
That is a Thursday. I've only been with the program for a couple months here, but I learned quick that our advisory council has some amazing women that do a lot of work and they get stuff done, and it's just been a treat to work with them, and they're just a great sounding board, and I'm just really appreciative of all their work that they've put into this event already and ones prior to this. So it's a big undertaking, and it takes a lot of time, and it benefits a lot of families in our community. So I want to thank Carrie and all the women that are on the advisory board for all their time that they donate to this event. So, but I'll let Carrie give a little detail.
Thank you. Tell me too a little bit about what's an Early Learning Advisory Council, and how did you guys get involved in doing a fundraiser?
Okay, the Early Learning Advisory Council is parents that attend early childhood classes, and we give feedback about the classes, different programs, just anything related to our kids that attend early childhood classes. And we found out about 4 years ago when I first started on the council that there's a great need for fundraising. That kids, they want to attend classes, their families want to send them to classes, but unfortunately they don't have the financial means to send them to classes. And obviously budgets are very tight, so we decided to start doing fundraisers for our programs. And the first year we did it, we had a wonderful turnout. We were able to get a matching grant from the United Way for $3,000, and we surpassed that. Last year we got a grant for $4,000, and we surpassed that. So this year we asked for $4,000 again, and we're well on our way to surpassing that dollar amount again. So it's a great event. This year's event is a vendor themed. Our theme is Relax, Connect, and Shop. So we have 11 different vendors. The vendors are Wild Tree, which is a natural food-based product.
Oh, cool.
Norwex, which probably a lot of people are familiar with them. They're the home cleaning. You hear about dust rags and that type of stuff. We have Usborne Books, which my kids love those books, especially the little books. They're a big fan of their books. Origami Owl, which I think a lot of...
Right here.
As I say, I see Mary with a necklace from Origami Owl. We have somebody doing chair massages, How Chiropractors doing chair massages. Milner Chiropractic is coming with just different wellness type of things.
Great.
Second, Childhood is bringing a lot of their different toys.
I'm so excited. That is such a great store.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like I'm missing someone as I'm thinking of the other groups. I apologize if I missed you. Serendipity Lotions. They have all their lotions are milk or goat milk based. So they're all natural based lotions. Soaps,
I was just
that type
commenting,
of stuff.
I bought some lotions last year at the fundraiser, and I noticed the other day that I'm almost out, so I'm time to replenish, so I'm glad they're there, Yes,
the other one, Young Living, essential oils. So I think that's all of the booths. And then we have some wonderful, wonderful silent auction items. The Hastings community is extremely generous when it comes to any kind of silent auctions, fundraisers, that type of thing. And thankfully, we have one of our members, she actually works at the University of Minnesota, so she has some great connections there. And she was able to get a signed Gopher football by Coach Jerry Kill. I should have brought that with me today.
That's exciting.
So that's a huge thing that we have. And we
Yep.
also have multiple sweatshirts and t-shirts from the Minnesota Gophers. If you're a golfer, we have a lot of rounds of golf. We have a $50 gift certificate to Wiederholtz.
A Zach Parisi Wild jersey.
Yes.
Yep, with the Wild going
Very
into the
exciting.
playoff, you need
Yes,
your
you
jersey.
need that.
You need your jersey.
The YMCA donated a gift basket. It has swimming
Fabulous.
lesson vouchers, sports vouchers, lots of different things. Rain Academy donated a $250 birthday package, which is huge, especially if you have little kids.
I was going to say, so this is the evolution of the birthday party with kids, all right? You know, so the first child, you're like, oh, I'll make everything, and we'll invite all the little friends over, and we'll have them at the house. And then after that first party, you're sort of like, isn't there another way?
Who could help
So
me?
that's right. And then if you have subsequent children, you don't even do that party at the house. You're like, we're going somewhere. So I think that's a fabulous prize.
And one of our biggest prizes, it's Walden Resort, which is in northern Minnesota. It's about an hour and a half north of here. They offer, they're giving us a 3-day, 2-night stay at the resort, and Mary actually stayed there last year.
I won it last year. Yes, I did. And we went and just had a lovely time. There are, it's nice because it's kind of a small resort. So there's maybe 8 different cabins. They're all right on the water. They're spacious, they're well appointed, the lake is nice and calm and easy, and it's real low key. So the people who own it are just the nicest family. There's no TV, you know, and she says, no, you're not here to you know, watch TV. You're here to enjoy yourself, talk to your family, read a book. So yeah, I would recommend it. And yeah, it's only an hour and a half away, which for a family with young children, by the time they start saying, when are we there? You can say, we're here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we have a lot of other silent auction items. I believe there's about 25 different things, so there's a lot of great things. And as Angie said, it's at the Onion Grill, Thursday, April 30th from 4 to 6. It's the upstairs room.
Okay.
And then also the Onion Grill is offering, we'll have some light appetizers that night. And the Onion Grill, that day it's their half-off margarita pizzas. So be sure you stop downstairs and have a pizza before you leave. And it should be a great day. Yes, a cash bar. Tickets are $5 in advance that you can get them at the Tilden Community Center, or $8 at the door. And all of the funds go to the scholarship fund.
Okay.
Any expenses are all donated.
Oh, isn't that nice?
For the event.
And this amazing volunteer work. And I think in the years that I've been here, I've seen the advisory council the first year kind of stuck their big toe into it, and now they're in over their heads. I mean, it's just so neat to see their involvement and how they've taken it on and just really created ownership. And what's amazing about it is that the scholarships, so that it has a specific goal of meeting the needs of families in the community who can't otherwise send their children to preschool. And so I know because preschool is hot on the governor's agenda, it's being discussed at the legislature, and I think there are families who say and sometimes people my age say, well, I didn't go to preschool, and look at me, I turned out fine, So what's the importance of preschool today, and why have we seen, the movement in the last 10 or so years to say it's really critical, not just nice, but critical that kids get a preschool experience before they go to school.
Right, and I think for sure in the last several years we've seen a lot of attention given to early childhood, as it should be. In my 20 years of being in education, I feel like it's right at the top of agenda items for people, which I think is great. Preschool for kids, it's changed. The rigor of school in general, K through 12, has changed. It's not like what I experienced when I was in high school, and so I think people need to realize that a lot of that has changed. And so the rigor has changed greatly, which what kids were doing in kindergarten, they're now expected to do at preschool, or come ready with those skills that they used to do in kindergarten. And so preschool, research just shows that kids that are in a preschool program of some sort, they do better. And with the goal of reading, all kids reading by 3rd grade, this is just the most important stepping stone into that whole process as well. But it is crucial for kids to get involved, and I am so thankful for this fundraiser because, as you both have said, all the money goes right back into our own community. And I think, our businesses get hit up so often for donations, our community members get hit up so often for donations, but I think the fact that it goes right back into our community and helps families in our community is just such a great thing. And it is a high need, and I think surprisingly, people might not know that necessarily, that we do have a high need of families that need scholarships. In the short time I've been involved, I've seen a high need of families that need assistance.
So we want to make that
money
easy
well
for
spent.
families. You know, we want families to feel comfortable and come in and say, you know, I need some help with this, and it's such a great position to be in to say, you know what, we have this fund that families like yours contributed to help make these dollars available for you.
Right, and it does make it's definitely an impact for these families, and so we're just really grateful that we have this team that sees the value of it and puts all this time in. We're grateful for the businesses in the community that continue to support fundraisers such as ours. We're just really grateful for those people donating, and it's going to be a great event.
And you have a daughter in preschool, Molly.
Yes.
What do you see that she's learning in preschool, and that it's important for her to go to that kind of experience?
As a stay-at-home parent, I'm not a teacher. I mean, even though as a parent you teach your kids, but I think you need that professional person that's been trained to how do you properly teach them to learn what they need to learn, because like Angie said, it's so different even from when I was in school, and they need that extra step because it's very competitive now. And anything they can learn more, and they need the interaction. That's the other part that, and for both my kids, since they've been babies going to ECFE classes, preschool classes, so it's great for them to have the social interaction with other kids besides their sibling.
Right.
And it's good for me.
Well, tell me about that. Why is it good for you?
It's good for me, and especially for the ECFE classes, because there's the parent education part. And it's not so much the education part of it, it's just some place where you can go with other parents that are at the same point that you are, and you can talk to about the day-to-day challenges you're having with a baby, a preschooler, and things, potty training, they don't want to eat, discipline, all that type of stuff. So it's great to have some place to go that they get it, they understand, you can talk, and you come out with ideas.
For sure.
I think one of the things that really even took me aback, and I've been in this field a long time and I've watched it evolve, was hearing that by the time kids get out of kindergarten, they're expected to read.
Right.
So it's not just, well, if you learn all your letters and all your numbers, so it used to be, well, you can count to 10. If you can go beyond 10, that's good. Do a few shapes for me, and maybe you can print your name with all uppercase letters. You're good. You're good to go. And if you think about within that 9 months or 10 months that they're in school, the expectation is, nope, you're going to be reading, and you're going to be reading sentences of 5 words or more, and you're going to have some comprehension. That expectation then for what that child brings into the classroom as a 5 or a 6-year-old is really higher than it was.
Absolutely.
I mean, way higher than it was when my kids were in preschool, and even higher than it's, I've watched that ramp up over the course of my career. That, I remember the first time somebody said, well, they need to know their upper and lowercase letters. I was like, they what? It was like, so, we have that advantage here in Hastings, and through the Hastings Public Schools, that we have this wonderful preschool program where kids can come 2 or 3 days a week, and we have classes in the morning and in the afternoon as fits a family schedule. And I think that the barrier of the cost is something we have. As you said, I don't think people always realize there's a need. Sometimes within your own community, you look around and you go, oh, it can't. Of course, you can afford that, and not everybody can. So the fact that we work on this, I think, is much to the community's credit as much as it is to our program's credit.
And I think Carrie made a good point with the fact that a structured learning environment is very much different than, it's great that parents are at home working with their kids, but to have them in a structured learning environment where they have to follow directions and learn to interact with other kids, and you just can't emulate that at home.
Right.
And so it's important that preschool is an option for families, and that I'm just grateful that we make it an option for all families. So it's great work that our advisory committee does, and we're just hoping to see everybody at the event.
Yeah.
Or feel free to send a donation.
Yeah.
If you
You
can't
can
make
do
it.
both. That would be good too. Yeah, yeah. One of the things too I've noticed about kids that come to preschool is that sometimes they're not just in preschool. So they have someone is they're doing childcare either before or after. We have a lot of grandparents I
Right.
notice that are bringing kids in and out. A lot of childcare providers bring kids in and out.
Right.
And so that's one question I have for you is, so if you're already in some sort of childcare setting, like you have a neighbor watching your kids
Sure.
or a licensed family childcare provider, why would you want to think about having preschool in addition to that?
Well, because of what I was kind of saying before, is that the structured environment that you won't get at a at-home daycare. Now, I'm not saying that at-home daycares, we have some great ones in the community that are doing very structured things with the kids and doing some pre-kindergarten activities and skills to get them prepared. But I think the structure of being in a school setting, I think, is a big difference. We have teachers that are licensed through the state of Minnesota, which obviously their professionalism and their training increases what happens within the preschool setting. The technology that we offer within our classrooms.
So talk a little bit about that, because now technology is kind of a controversial issue still. I think this last winter or fall, I finally saw the first study that said, well, maybe it's okay for kids,
Right.
preschoolers, to be spending time on screens. Because before that, even the American Academy of Pediatrics came out and said, no screen time. For kids under 2, no screen time. I mean, they
Right,
were just like
right.
dead set on it. And now they're saying, well,
Well, and it's not-
maybe you would want to be doing some screen time. So
It's
what
not
do we
like they're
see
walking
in
in-
preschool?
it's not like they're
They're
walking
all
in
walking
with
with
their
their
own
iPads
device.
or little mini. Yes, bring your own device to school.
Yeah.
As they
We
walk
started
in, they
young.
go to the mom, give me the phone.
So it's not like that at all. But I think one of the great learning tools we have is the smart board, and the teachers do a.
What's a smart board?
The smart board is where basically what you're doing on your computer can be projected up onto the smart board, and then kids can interact on that smart board.
Okay.
So for instance, if you're doing a counting activity and they have to put the apples in the basket, the kid can come up and put his finger on the screen, push the apple
Swipe,
into
the infamous swipe. They all
Right,
know how to swipe.
So of course that's what engages the kid, is to be actively involved in the lesson, and I just think it's a great learning tool, and our teachers do a good job of integrating it into the preschool day. Now, are they on it all the time? Is it no? It's just a piece of what they do during the day. But I think it's important, especially since they'll see those and use those
As soon as
their
they get to
entire
school.
right,
Yep.
their entire school career. So
I know we've had conversations at the district tech committee about teaching kids to keyboard, because so much of it is swipe now. So how much do kids need to keyboard, And I remember when my granddaughter, who's now 4, was born, my son said, probably by the time she's in high school, they'll just implant a chip in her brain. They'll all come in every day, they'll all get their little chips wired up,
Right.
and it'll all just be spit right into their heads. And I don't think it's going to be happening
Probably
quite
not,
that
yeah.
quickly. But at the same time, I think that early exposure in age and developmentally appropriate way that is used as a learning tool and not, I have a
a
bias.
replacement for
Well,
yeah.
and I had to suffer with my kids in restaurants, and so now, and try to figure out how to keep them happy and bring the bag of stuff. And so now, not infrequently, if we're out, somebody will pull out the phone and say, "Here, do you want to watch a video?" And then the kid goes underneath the table, and you have adult conversation, which is great. But where's the kid? So.
And I don't want to stress that it's all the academic pieces of it. There's still components
It's
of the
learning
preschool
through play.
that is extremely important. Learning through play, the social and emotional impact of being in a preschool environment. Those are all key things that help kids to become successful in their school career. So
just
it's
some
a tie-in
routine,
with
and,
both of those
some
things.
routine and predictability too, that's involved with preschool, which we know kids like. And I often mention my own grandchildren. I have a grandson who's 2 who goes to an ECFE class, and Grandpa takes him because Mom's at work. But he says, the thing that he noticed, even in the course they just started at the end of January, and he said, now when we come in, and they say, time, or they sing the song to go to circle time. He said Jackson walks right over, sits down, and waits. And he said the first couple weeks he was like, oh, he's never going to do circle time, And I said, you really have to have a lot of faith,
Right.
and have a lot of respect for what those kids bring to their own learning environments, and that they come at their own pace and they come at their own way. But having something predictable like that, he gets it. He knows now he has to
Right.
do circle time.
Right.
So. Well, I think we are, as both of you have said, really blessed. I just want to thank you again, Carrie, and thank the council for all the wonderful work that you do throughout the year. The availability of the council to the coordinator, to Angie. So there have been a couple things, she said, what do you think about this? And I've said, take it to your council. They're the voice of the
Right.
parents. They're out there in the community. They know what's going on. So, and yeah, the ownership you have over this fundraiser is tremendous. So, I appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And one more time, when and where, and what do we need to know?
Thursday, April 30th, 4 to 6 p.m., the Onion Grill. Be there.
Be there at B Square.
Right.
So the tickets are $5 in advance.
Yes.
$8 at the door.
At the door.
And if you can't come, you can still buy a ticket,
Yes.
or get out there and buy tickets for your friends and neighbors. And
Right, or we have people that have just said, we can't make it, or we don't have a silent auction donation, we're just going to give you a cash donation, and that obviously is great
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
terrific. Well, thank you, ladies,
Yes,
and thank you
thank
for
you.
all
Yeah.
the work that you do. I just want to add one other thing that's coming up here at the on the 1st of May. So that's May Day. Is our infamous Springo Bingo. We have Turkey Bingo in the fall where we give away turkeys, and at Springo Bingo we give away hams. So, and it's a free activity for the community from 6 to 8. The doors open at 5. We do have meal deals, hot dogs, chips, and pop, I think, for $3. So it's a great, and it's really a fun family night. So we have seen parents come in with babies and bounce them as they're doing their bingo cards, and all the way to some of our members of our senior center program. So again, we ask for pre-registration just so we know you're coming. 651-480-7670, HastingsCommunityEd.com. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.